Oh, that was fucking gross. I'm sorry, guys.
Groovy, baby.
Oh my.
Let me get on my game.
Huh?
We're over here tapping in with KWJT, Puget Sound from space. I'm over here with Corey. You're tapping in with Tavares and sliding with Solana. Man, you already know what the fuck's going on. It's another week here at the Groovy Abode. Yeah, guys. Exciting stuff on the way. We're back. Woo! Oh. Sorry. That was a little improv.
You just pour it. I got you.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
let you down again.
Yeah, so welcome to a new episode. This is episode 41. And this is our guest here today. We got Lex Nikol in the building.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome.
I hope I said that correctly.
Yes, you did. You did.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good. Just, rolling with the punches, I'm good. I'm good. Blessed. Always.
We're really excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
So I have a bunch of questions because I'm I'm a fan before I wanted to interview you. I've been kind of following your process through since we I heard of you in August during the South shoot, but we didn't officially meet. So I've kind of been following your gram since then, and you've been on fire, just as a fan perspective and just being able to watch you. So I wanted to know, how'd you get into photography? I know that's one of your many talents in the industry.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start there, and maybe we get into the rest of them during the interview.
Absolutely. So, I started photography it's funny because I really did not take it seriously. I just wanted a creative outlet to a relationship I shouldn't have been in, and I was just dang, what could I do to give this situation I'm going through a better outlet, a more positive outlet. And I was I'm just gonna go to the Goodwill and see if I can find a film camera. Before that, I was a stylist and creative director, and so being on set with film photographers in general, it was so cool and fascinating, especially with film. And the way film looked to me, I was this is so beautiful. And it's one of the film photographers I did work with, previously with my styling, they were the one thing I love about it is it's unpredictable. And that stuck with me for a long time. And so I just went to the Goodwill, I found a camera, and I went to Walgreens and I got the cheap film or whatever. And I literally just started shooting whatever. My boyfriend at the time, he was like, why, you've been gone for 4 hours? I'm yeah, I've just been shooting, I was literally just going around housing, subdivisions, parking lots, just shooting whatever. Cause I was this is cool. I feel it feels good. So yeah, that's how I started. And then I just I went to how I started getting into this community with creatives. I started going to this organization called Street Me, and it's a really good platform for photographers and creatives, stylists, models. They meet every month. I think every last Saturday. They just started back up, and they just literally meet up, and people network and stuff like that. So I met a lot of people through there and just started networking through there, and then that's the rest is history.
That's amazing. Out of huge curiosity, what was your what camera did you pick up at the Goodwill? Because this had to be before the film craze that we're on right now. So
it was an Olympus stylus. I still have it. I have a camera. I have
Oh, you keep one on you?
Yeah, I keep one on me. I have this one, which is a Canon Sure Shot. I just keep I keep one on me at all times. You never know the moment. You know, even if it's something I won't even post or anything, it's keep it for myself and for my kids, for my partner or something like that. Be look at this is cool. You know what I'm saying? So, even just a print, I have prints hanging up in my house that no one has seen on Instagram, because I just be I shot this and I kind of just want to display it in my home and keep it that way. But this is one of the first cameras I bought with my thank you. But I just was so Olympus stylus was it's so sleek, it's so beautiful. it had ran out of battery, so that's why I didn't bring it today, because I was gonna bring it today, but it was like if I see someone I want to take a picture, I can't. But yeah, that was my first little baby.
Yeah. I want to know how you, because you get like 36 shots. Was it hard for you not to just shoot everything you see in the beginning, or how did you develop like? I listened to a lot of Volandis, and he just says, don't take every shot. Try to like live through the moment, because film, you'll end up seeing something later in the day, only have 2 shots left. Mm-hmm. So was it hard for you in the beginning not to shoot everything you see, or did it just develop with like point and shoots for everything? Mm-hmm. These bigger cameras, medium format or 35 is for like more intimate or professional settings.
Mm-hmm. I think I didn't have that much trouble like navigating that, because I'm a person that lives in the moment, that loves to be in the moment. So like if something is happening, I'm like, okay, what's this moment teaching me right now, and like sitting in this moment. So like with the 36, that was a great challenge for me. I was like, yeah, like I love that I only have 36 shots, because if something happens later and I don't have it, then it wasn't meant for me to catch that moment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I literally just try to. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. I think if I started digital, like, because digital's like da 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 da, like it's like continuous. So like it really is. It's like my digital photographer friends, they're like, every time we're on set together, it's like. I'm like, damn, I can't even, like, you know, I'm like, damn, I can't even do that, you know. But it's just it teach me to appreciate the moment even more. But I'm like a moment person, so it wasn't hard for me at all. Me starting off with film, it gave me better patience and like a better scope of like being in the moment, or like catching that, you know, perfect shot, you know, at a photo shoot.
That's really amazing.
Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah. Can we get that ring?
I just gotta get my that's amazing off. You know?
Thank you.
I actually wanted to open up the discussion about you navigating through the Pacific Northwest, because you're originally not from here, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm from a small town outside of St. Louis, Missouri, and my dad's family's from St. Louis. My mom's from East St. Louis. So yeah, I'm not from here. I've been here for 8 years, and so just navigating, you know, through Washington has been so interesting, because it's like when you go to St. Louis and you go to like even like Southern Illinois, it's like so different. You know what I'm saying? Like people are very like, hi, how are you? Like on the street. And so when I came here, people are very like, just gonna go, we're just gonna look it through you. And it's not even that's a bad thing. It's just kind of like, it was like a culture shock, because like, you know, like in Southern Illinois and like St. Louis, it's like very, you know, they're very like, hey, what's up? You know, stuff like that, even when people don't even know you. Yeah. But here I get the whole like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me look through you type situation, because it's like, you know, you don't want to be, sometimes you don't want to be bothered like that. Yeah. And I'm like, that was a culture shock for me, but like just the creativity, the art here really got me. I really like, St. Louis does have a lot of art. I'm not knocking that at all. Just seeing like a lot of people here being like so proactive and like so like go-getter, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this and this and that. Like being surrounded with people like that gave me a good scope, like a very wide scope on the Pacific Northwest, even going to Oregon, even going like Oregon-ish, like Washington, Canada, like just really just sitting there and being like, dang, like these people are very like-minded like myself. And it's a refreshing thing to me, honestly. So yeah, that's, you know, how I kind of fish my way through here.
I wanted to ask, I saw some of the pictures that you posted from home. Do you normally, when you go home, shoot for just for memories and things like that, or is it just like intentional?
It's both. So like I love like, you know, my family, and like I've always like wanted to document my family more, because like, again, like just for myself and like my kids or my partner or whoever comes into my life, you know, I love to just document my family, and like, because my family like means a lot to me. You know, my mother, my father, you know, my grandmothers, they mean a lot to me. So I'm like, living in the moment. Like, you know, when I was posting those, I was in the moment, you know, posting my mom's and, you know, my grandmother and my mom's hands together. Like that was a moment that I was like, oh my God, like this is something I could savor right now in time. And I like took that photo, and then my grandmother's hand, she was so like, oh, my hands look good. And I was like, no, your hands look good, Grandma. Just, you know, just do this real quick. And so because I wanted to take a photo of her hands or like body parts of her that like me, because she has really giving hands, and I tell her that like she's very like generous, and she's very like never meets a stranger at all. Like she could be at Target and she could just turn around and like talk to the person behind her, and it's like and my mom is very giving too, so having them having hands in hands and then getting my grandmother's hands was like meant a lot to me. And so like the when I posted, it was very intentional, because I was like, this is a side of me that like people don't really get to see. Like I'm very like, you know, reserved when it comes to my family. I'm very reserved. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But with just like me posting editorials all the time or like weird, you know, photo shoots or whatever, I'm like, you know, let's give it a little palate cleanser. Like here's something personal about me. I love going home and just also savoring the moment and not taking pictures at all. Like usually I don't even take my cameras, you know what I'm saying? I just, you know, leave them at home, you know what I'm saying? And just like enjoy my mom and my dad and my, you know, my family in general. But like this time I was like, you know what, like I want to get some moments, you know, of my family to savor for myself. And I'm actually ordered some prints of my grandma's hands, my mom and my grandma's hands, so I'm just gonna hang them up. And then my mom wanted some too, so she, you know, I'm gonna have some sent to her too. So that'll be like the first time that my artwork is being like displayed in my parents' home, because I'm very, you know, it's not their fault at all. It's like I'll be like, no, you don't need nothing. You don't need that in your home. My mom will be like, girl, can you print this out? Like, could you? Every time I send her, because, you know, whenever I do a photo shoot and I'm really proud of it, like I send it to my family, I'd be like, yo, y'all, what do y'all think of this? And they usually like, you know, so it's like really great to have that. But like my mom's like always like, I want to print, like I want that like on da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, yeah, girl, you don't need that. Like it's okay, whatever. But now I'm just like, okay, like, you know, my sister kind of was like, girl, just, you know, mom wants your, you know, mom and dad want your artwork, you know, around their house, like, you know, and so that's like something sentimental to them. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna send some, you know what I'm saying, just to have like, you know, because it's cool, like, you know, to go home and be like, dang, like
that's me.
Yeah, that's me, you know. So yeah.
That's amazing. I was gonna actually ask about your relationship with Prince and like zines and things like that. Because I personally love your photography, and I was like, some of the art that you share, I would love personally to have at my home. So if you ever do open it up outside of the family, I definitely will be one of those participants in buying the art. Have you strayed away from it just because photography has been so personal to you and just your journey in it? And like when you work with people, it's like very intentional for this project or for your own project, or has it just not been like something that has really caught your attention of I need to print everything out, or I'm using this project for zines or things like that?
I think that, yeah, like I really am like, I just don't worry about it. And like people, but you know what, my friends, even my like professional friends, they're like, girl, hello. They're like in the camera like, can you sell prints?
Yes.
What are you doing? And I'm just like, sorry, like I just don't ever think about it, because I just, when I put myself into a project, it's very like intentional. It's very like I put my all into it. I'm like, you know, this is something I love to do, so I never think about it. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm never like stray away from it at all. I had a gallery showing last November and December, and you know, people were like interested in my prints, and that's like the first time I ever got like a scope of people being like strangers being like, yo, like you don't sell prints? Yeah. And I'm like, no. They're like, you have a website? I'm like, no. Like, you know, because I just shoot. I feel like I'm still in like, I'm just shooting to not shoot, but shooting just to create art and create the art I want to see. So like, I literally just be like, yeah, Prince, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so like, people are like, yo, like, you don't have a website? What's going on? Like, and like, I had a guy like try like order prints for me through DMs, because he was like, yo, I really like want your art around my house, and like to have my art around a, you know, random person's house. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So like, I will be launching lexnikol.com in a couple months. I want to get it started earlier, but my website, I'm like, it's something like I need to perfect, tweak and stuff like that. But through there, I will be doing like a collection of, you know, prints that I think could be, you know, good enough to sell and things like that. Because sometimes I'll be like, okay, like, I'm not gonna sell that. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, I'm getting to that process on the like business side of the process more so than like the art side of the process, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give that a big round of applause. I'm so excited for things.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like my mom would love your photography in her home.
I appreciate that. Always gotta take care of the mamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of a question for the both of you, since you both live in this photographer realm. Do you value the importance of being a historian? Because you two creating either the status quo of everything, you're documenting life. So I'm just wondering if you guys ever think about that, because later down in life, as you said, with your story with your mother and your grandmother, your distant kids, grandkids, grandchildren will see that picture one day. So how does that feel for you two?
Go ahead.
Absolutely. I have mixed feelings. I don't feel like I'm a historian. But when you say it like that, I guess I am. Just because like I take pictures of like you or the homies, or like we'll go out and do stuff, and it's very like, I'm only doing this because I enjoy your company, or like I want to remember this and tell this funny story, and I just happen to have my camera on me. So I'm like, it doesn't like have to be composed in like a special way. It's just like, hey, look at this 5 years later. Like, you remember this night? So like, I guess I feel like a historian, but I very intentionally like, unless it's for a project in my head, it's very much just like, oh, this would be a cool moment to like show you, or when it's your birthday and be like, oh, I got all these photos of Tavares or like Gabe or Tone, or just like having, I guess, yeah. I do feel like a historian, but I never thought about it that way. To just make it short answer short, because that's dope. Because we've been in the studio, and I have like countless things of just us in the studio curating music and just making albums. But I wouldn't think of that as history. I would just think of that as like something to cherish when we're like 45 and like our lives are great or awful, and we're just like, oh shit, like.
Like sentiments, almost. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dang, that's a good question. And you know, Corey kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, I didn't consider myself a historian till now, and then when I think about the photos that I do, I'm like, yeah. You know, maybe I am a historian, but it's like never like, you know, it's never like a realization. Right. It's just kind of like when things are, you know, when things are presented to me, like how you just asked that question, I'm like, well, maybe, yeah, I am. Like, you know, and hi. He's like, I want a pen. So, yeah, I am. I am a historian, because also with that, it's like, with photos, like, you kind of make history with your photos. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you kind of, like, I remember when I posted a certain, you know, photo set, and it was, like, the most likes I ever got, that's a moment of history. Like, that's like, dang, like a milestone. I'm like, dang, I got X amount of this on that. But like, I also got like an outpour of love, like on this photo. So I'm like, and that was like my best work, I feel like. So I'm just like, dang, and not even based off likes or anything else like that, just based off like me seeing myself 3 years ago to now, you know what I'm saying? That's history to me. Like, wow, like how far I've come, you know, from the first photo I took to the last photo I took. It's like, that in itself is history. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I could say I could consider myself a historian.
I bring it up because, to interject to those thoughts, we went to the Brooklyn Museum, and I personally speaking, experienced probably the like coolest exhibits I've ever experienced. I also realized that art lasts forever. It like transcends through generations. We continue to look on our past, and it's really fucking dope to know a couple of people, to get to know someone who is like capturing raw essence of humanity. It's like,
thank you.
No, like, because I think we should highlight these things. People at home, I hope you realize, like, please please support your photographers in your life, the people around you, the curators. And two, like we kind of have to shift the like outside of every like good foundation, there are people in the background that are just as strong as your strongest pillar. I feel like photography follows under that because without what you guys do, there's not a lot of like messages going throughout time. So
I understand completely. I saw something in the St. Louis airport, and it was this black artist, and I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but he had like a slew of paintings like in like an exhibit at the airport, and that in itself is history because it's like seeing like a black artist in the St. Louis airport like have an exhibit at the airport. It's like that's historic, and I took pictures of that because I was like, this is a moment in history, like you know what I'm saying. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, being like a curator of history and in time, even if we don't even realize it. It's like that's what we are, like artists, you know, painters and photographers, even stylists, even creative directors, even going as far as that, digital editors, like we're making things in time, and directors, like we're making things in time and history. Look at like John Singleton's work, may he rest in peace. You know, some like we still watch those movies. Like I still watch John Singleton movies. So it's like that's definitely correct. You got it.
I wanted to shift to gears just slightly.
Yeah, for sure.
As a photographer myself, I don't really enjoy being in front of the camera. But I noticed that you've kind of embraced it and enjoy it. How has that relationship been? Because I know most photographers could care less about being in front of the camera, but I really enjoy that you've embraced it, and now you work with like you've done some stuff with For Good Services, and I'm sure other brands that I didn't see. So how did that relationship develop? You know,
I'm a Leo. No, I'm kidding. That's not even that. I guess, you know, that's like the cliche response. But honestly, like before, like I was a person that like always wanted to look good. Like I always wanted to look and feel good, you know. So like just in case like that camera moment comes and things like that, like I've seen people take pictures of me candidly and didn't even know about it. I'm like, oh, at least my outfit looks great. You know what I'm saying? So with I love to work with people I believe in. So like Michael Duvall and with For Good Services, I love his brand. I've known him for not a long time, but I've known him for like about a year and a half, 2 years. And like just seeing him grow from where he is at now to like what he's doing right now is like super awesome. And I just love working with people that like believe in their brand like a lot, and they just love working with their brand. Even with EIQ Clothing, Tanya and Keish, like yes, love them. Hey y'all, working with them is like so good to be intentional. So like even, you know, I would model their stuff. I would model For Good Services. I would model Auntie's Jewels. I would model like any brand here. Like, and I see like ETC. Like I love their intention behind their brand. Like, and that's something I would, if they ask me like, yo, if we send you some stuff, or if, like, can you model something for us? I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll model that. Cause it's like, I want, if it's something that is intentional, it's something that is for Black and POC, if it's something that is doing good for the community and people, yeah, I would put my face on it. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, I'm selective on what I put my face on, you know, when not even just around here, anywhere, you know, if it's St. Louis, LA, New York, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I do my research on what, you know, what that brand is about and things like that. So, you know, I'm very like intentional who I put my face behind. So yeah, embracing that, it's just like, yeah, just being homies with people you believe in, or just like being homies before, you know, before like their takeoff, or not even just that, just like being behind them in the things that they do and supporting them. It just makes you want to, like, you know, yeah, like I'll get behind it. Yeah, I can model for you for real quick, you know, because it just is like helping them and things like that. Because I know people have done it for me, and so it's just like great to, like, when me and Michael came together this year and was like, yo, let's like do a little, you know, shoot. Like I was like, you know, we were both like, hell yeah, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just it's like just being organic too. Like that organic relationship too is like so important. So me being in front of the camera, so I don't be on Instagram stories a lot, like, this, y'all see me this weekend because, I felt good or whatever. But, most of the time I'm like, I keep it to, my photos or somebody else's work or whatever else like that. I don't really post on stories like that. But like, when it comes to like brands I believe in, like FGS and Auntie's Jewels and, people, ETC and people like that, I'm like, yeah, I'll get in front of there, I hope that answered your question.
No, that absolutely
okay,
did.
Because, I get a little long-winded.
No, that's what the podcast
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
like,
is the form
great.
for it.
Because, yes.
We haven't expressed it to you, though, but that's the Talk Your Shit corner.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
feel free
to
talk your shit.
All right.
I wanted to ask about your becoming the creative director of EIQ and what being named a creative director of your homies brand feels like, and like what do you hope to like accomplish there?
When I got asked to do creative direction, first of all, I was like, yeah, like, dude. I honestly love stepping into the role as a creative director. Like, I love like looking at designs and being like, okay, like that's gonna work or like that's not gonna work. It's like I love like posing people. I've taken so many posing classes online to like just to pose models, like just be like, yo, like, okay, I saw this pose on whatever, like pose like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just love that process. I love how they work as a team and as a couple as well, because they are, both a couple and a business team at the same time, and they seem to work that well cohesively, you know what I'm saying? So like seeing that kind of seamless transaction with them and with EIQ, because when I shot their the extended Kanyes, I wasn't a part of the team yet. I just was like hired as a photographer, but like being around them in that whole realm was so refreshing. Like no like tense vibes, no nothing. It was just fluid and we were having fun. We was laughing. And I think that kind of was like, I was like, okay, cool, that's dope or whatever. And so I tweeted something like, I think in February or something like that, where I was like, man, I might step, away from photography and do creative direction. And from there, like I've gotten like a few offers, like people be like, yo, like you want to create direct for my brand, whatever. And I'm like, yes, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and they were one of those brands that were like, hey, like, I know, you shot for us, but we really like your, creativity. Let's do this. And even them being like, colleagues of mine and acquaintances of mine, that made it better, because it's like, okay, we can, if we don't like something, if I don't like something, if she don't like something, if she don't like something, we could say it without being, controlling and stuff like that. So it's like, with that, I really look for that is with teams and stuff like that. If like somebody asked me to creative direct a line or like a season for them, I want to make sure that, we get along, in a friendly space, more so than like in a business space as well. You know what I'm saying? So with them, it was that, you know what I'm saying? It was that. It was just like, okay, like we can get along seamlessly. We can like say, girl, I don't like that. And we could be like, okay, whatever, I just throwing it out there, because we've thrown so many ideas at the wall and some stick and some don't. And it's like, when it comes to, business or stuff like that, professionalism, it's like, you want to be able to, say to somebody, not really feeling that, and they be like, all right, cool, you know what I'm saying, or compromise. And that's like what we have achieved so far. So I'm really excited for y'all to see like all the stuff we've been working on, behind the scenes, even like the Pride collection. Like I'm hella proud of Tanya, because she like bodied that whole art, like the homies art. Like when she sent it to me, I was like, I remember going to Walmart and getting those homies on the gumball. So it's so nostalgic. Even her Simpson stuff is amazing. So like even just working in the same realm with like an artist like that is just a blessing in itself, because we both work off kind of like not the same mind but the same like wavelength. You know what I'm saying? Because we're both creatives. And like with Keish as well, like she's more of like the operations side of things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like coordinating with people like that as well is great too, because she's like, she keeps us in line for real. Like, she's like, no, we did not talk about that. I'm like, okay. And it's like she keeps us on track, because me and Tanya can get like real creative, and it go in the clouds, and we're like, okay, girl, we gotta do one line at a time. So it's like the team is so seamless, and it's so like it gels together so well. So yeah, I enjoy being on that team. So yeah.
Come on, big
shout out the motherfucking team.
Hey.
All right. I kind of wanted to move this into a little different direction.
Yeah.
We've been talking about photography, but I want to talk about those fucking legendary shows you've been to. I kind of peeped it. So it looks like it's more of a, like, this is enjoying the moment and less of work. So let's talk about those legendary sets. You experienced some Nipsey Hussle. You experienced some Drake.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
So I've loved going to shows for like ever. So I will tell y'all, I snuck out. Mom and Dad, don't look at this. So back when I was like 18, 19, like there was the Watch the Throne tour in Chicago. And I remember taking a train to Chicago and like staying there overnight and going to, they played Niggas in Paris like 100, I like 100 times. Like, so like just that experience and then going to the like Yeezus tour and going to those big tours. Like I just love shows. Like I love music. And my creative career started off in music. I sing and I play, you know, a good amount of instruments and things like that. So I've been singing since I was, I'll say 10 years old. Yeah. And then I've been playing instruments since I was like 11, 12 years old. So like I love music. So like just going to shows was like something, just experiencing that, you know what I'm saying? So like my show going, you know what I'm saying, was like started with going to the Watch the Throne tour, started going, my first show ever, my mom, you know, she's a cool mom. She she took me and my cousin to Usher Confessions tour. We were 13. Wow. And it was,
oh my God, that's fire.
Popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know,
gosh.
when I tell people that, they're like, do you understand how like dope that? I'm like now I do. Because like Confessions, that's like a, you know, a hit. Yeah. So like my first show, I was so enamored by like just going to the show, and like my mom got like really good seats for us, and I was just like, oh my God, like, you know, Usher, like first of all, 13 me with braces and shit, like Usher, you know, but all at the same time, it's like the experience. Yeah. So like that's like my introduction in shows, and then the person that I was with, that I broke up with recently, me and him used to go to shows all the time. And so, you know, we would go to like the Nipsey show. And then I've been, you know, to the internet. I've been to Jorja Smith show. Hey girl. I've been to the Jorja Smith show like 3 times, like in Seattle, because like literally we would just go because I love Jorja Smith. Yeah. Who else? The On the Run 2. Yes. We have floor seats.
A Safeco?
Was it? It was a CenturyLink, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think it was CenturyLink. Yeah. I'm like,
I was at I worked the first one. Yeah. I was.
It's probably at Safeco, right?
Yeah.
The On the Run. Yeah, it was at Safeco. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, wait, like, cause I went to that one too, but I didn't like document it because I was just like not an Instagram person at the time, so I wasn't like, you know, let me, you know, take a picture or whatever. But like going to the On the Run 2 tour and having floor seats to that, man. Beyond, like I was like geeked the whole time. When I woke up the next morning, I was like, why does it feel like I've been hit by a train? Like I was doing every single dance, everything. Nipsey Hussle, experiencing that was a blessing. I love like being up, like literally we were right looking at him, and he like popped the bottle and everything else like that. And then first of all, we was like, where is it going? Because I'm like, I trying to get hit. So we like my phone kind of got covered in like the champagne and stuff like that. That was such a good experience. He was so nice too. Like, you know, just like his artists were really nice too. And so like that was a great experience before he passed away. And that was something that I always like cherish now, like, because I love Nipsey Hussle as an artist, you know what I'm saying, since Check Me Out, you know what I mean? So like I was, you know, that's something that I could like cherish forever. Drake, you know, I've been going to Drake concerts since So Far Gone. He did a college tour. Wow. So with the college I went to, Eastern Illinois University, I only went there for 1 year. But you know, I did not finish. But I went there the year that I did go. He was doing his So Far Gone tour, and he did like, yeah, it was an experience. And like I've been going to his shows since then, and then the next show after that was the Thank Me Later tour at the Fox Theater. And I bought me and my sister tickets because I was like, we gonna get dressed up and go. She was a teenager at the time, and I was like, I think I was a teenager too, like 18, 19, like 20 years old, and we just went. And then I just kept on going from there. And that's the same for Kanye, too. Like, you know, the Watch Your Throne tour, then Yeezus, and then I went to St. Pablo as well. That was like so it was like, and I got all that merch I still have. Like, all the, like, the Donda airbrush, like I have that, like I'll be digging up that shit sometimes. I'll be like, what in the Damn tour was my favorite of all time. Really? Like, yes, like Kendrick Lamar, I'm sorry, Beyonce. Girl, that's go get me. But like I love like Kendrick Lamar's Damn tour, like with Travis Scott opening on that big ass bird, like just like it was amazing. It was a rager, and I like that sounds really like totally dude, but like that's literally how I describe it. It's like a rager, and it was so fun. And like Kendrick is so theatric. Like during that show, he had played like clips of him in like in a kung fu movie, and it was just it was just like so cool. And he had like a break dancer for that song Triple X with U2. Like the first part, he had like a break dancer like just dancing. He wasn't even out. He was on stage, and we were sitting there like, like, you know, it was a great experience. And then I went to the TDE Championship tour, and that was an awesome experience too. Yeah, I love shows. Like, You've
been to some of the greatest ones as well.
Yeah, but like Coachella, but the thing is with Coachella and like Rolling Loud and stuff like that, that don't really appease me. Like festivals, like when I see headliners, like especially for Rolling Loud this year, I'm like, I want to go, but it's like a lot of people. And it's hot. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be 30 in a couple months. I'm like, do I really, you know, want to be out here? You know what I'm saying? But like, just shows, like, I tried so hard to get Bad Bunny tickets, y'all. Like, I had 5 devices. I'm looking at the camera. 5 devices trying to get me these damn tickets. And literally none of, like, it didn't work. And then I went on resale, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
They were so expensive.
So expensive. Girl, okay, I love Bad Bunny. If you hear this, my number is
call me.
But yeah, like I love shows. I'm like trying to think who else I've been. The Yeezus tour is actually like I think 3rd best. That damn mountain.
Really?
Yo, I was you know, with another partner, and we went, and literally like, and this is when I was stationed in Whidbey Island, so like we had to take a ferry, drive all the way, stay into like it was a lot, but like that we went like front row there, it was literally like this big glacier looking thing, and I said, what the where are we at? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I like his shows and Kendrick's shows too, because it's like, where am I at? Like, yeah, you want to wonder where the fuck, or did we step into whatever? Astroworld was cool too. I really liked that. They actually asked me to go on that that little roller coaster, and I said no. And people were like, I'm like, I don't think
I wouldn't have done it either.
Yeah, I'm like, Travis Scott ain't worth my death.
Yeah. Like,
you know, they ain't clearing safety precautions.
They was asking a lot of people though. Like, it was like every 5th person. They was like, do you want to go? And I'm like surprised that people was like, nah. Like, but I saw how high that mug was, and I said, no.
It's like a cool story, but like I feel like I would like. It takes one knee wobble to just go.
For real. And he was like straight up. Like he was just sitting there I said, I couldn't know. I would be sitting there like the camera would just be, it would just be like.
I'm doing it, guys. I'm doing it.
But no, I would look so awkward. But the shows, those shows, like, I just love music, and I love experiencing music, and like, experiencing music to me is more than like going through your headphones. You know what I'm saying? It's like going out and seeing the artist, and you know, I think I saw Travis Scott somewhere else too. Oh yeah, the Damn tour. Yep. And like, it's just that whole experience is fire. The Drake shit, the A sides and the B side shit, that was funny. I'm sorry, I got the fuck weak when I saw that damn car. I said, oh, it's actually a Lamborghini just floating. For what reason, I don't know. It was just funny, like, for me to record it, because I'm like, really? Like, God, it was like right, kind of like, not above us, but like above adjacent. And I was like, if this dropped right now,
right? Oh my goodness.
Huge lawsuit, but also I'd probably be dead. I don't know.
Are there any artists that you would love to go on tour and like kind of be their creative director, or like
Kendrick Lamar? Hello. if you're hearing this, no. Kendrick Lamar, I love what he's doing with PG Lang and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would love to just work along like with PG Lang, honestly. I would love to just do stuff with them. Kendrick Lamar is like, when you ask that question, that's what comes to mind. Solange. Yes. Yeah, I think everyone knows in Seattle how much I love Solange. Like I love her so much. So it's just like everything she does, I'm like, yes. Everything she does, I'm like, yep. She could be like, I made this artesian water. Girl, I'm about to buy it. Yeah, exactly. Solange would be up there. Pharrell would be up there too. Man, don't even get me started on him because he's like the reason why I started doing any of this like music, anything, any of this creative shit. Like, love him. I think, Pharrell. I would love to do Travis Scott. Like, he seems like a really dope person. I know Ray is his photographer, and Ray does a phenomenal job on what he does.
Amazing, yeah.
Amazing. Like, his, like, I'm looking at the Reese's Puffs. Like, that campaign was bomb. Like, I love how he did the McDonald's campaign. Dang, who else? I would love Beyonce. That would be dope to do Beyonce. I know Raven Verona. She was her photographer for a minute with Homecoming and with On the Run too, and like the Formation tour, stuff like that. So she's like one of the people I do look up to as well as like music photographers because she's like so dope. I feel like I'm missing people. I would love to do like something with like a comeback tour, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Backstreet Boys ever did something, this is really, it's random, but I would love to do a Backstreet Boys like dope, like film Backstreet. That would be dope because that's like my childhood. You know what I'm saying? You really was crying looking at them on TVs. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what's going on there. The Spice Girls ever did a tour? Ooh. Yes. You feel me? They all still look bomb. They all still look really good. So I'm like, I'm hoping, they do a tour. But that would be dope. I would love to do like something like that, like something nostalgic to me and and everybody else's childhood. So yeah, that's all I could think about. Yeah, but like Kendrick Lamar, it stands out a lot to me because like he's such a creative person. Him and Pharrell are just such dope creatives that I would just like it would just like feed off the energy with Solange too. Like I just feel like those three people I would like focus on, and that's like my main focus too. I'm like, dang, like I really want to work with these people because it's like I know like the creative energy is just like off the charts, and I know that I'll learn a lot, from them too in that process.
Oh yeah, I could just read your mind. I could
you simply can. Oh my goodness, thank you, brother. All right. Can we talk about Support Your Homegirls?
Yes.
I think it's not to say it's small, but that expression, the simple statement and sentiment of Support Your Homegirls, I think it has a huge value and there's a certain importance to it. So do you want to talk about it?
Absolutely. So I started Support Your Homegirls. Obviously, it's a developing brand because I've been doing things behind the scenes with it. I'm dropping some stuff in the fall, but like the process is kind of like ain't nobody tell me the process is gonna be this long. But it's a learning process. But with Support Your Homegirls, how that came about, I was actually talking to somebody, and I was like, yeah, like I wish people like support their homegirls more. And I was like. Wait a minute. Literally was like, you know what I'm saying? Birdman hand rub. You know what I mean? So I just was like, So I actually have like samples that are raggedy. They don't look at all. Like, so I had like samples that I created for Support Your Homegirls because I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be dope, And so I had other brands. I had 91, which like didn't take off at all. Like I still have those orders in my storage, those shirt orders, like because I didn't use it at all because I was like so enthralled with Support Your Homegirls that I was like, this is gonna make more of a statement than anything. And then when the pandemic hit, everything kind of like vendors and like overseas vendors especially like manufacturer stuff like kind of like shut down because of the pandemic and stuff like that, so I wasn't able to really like do it the way I wanted to do it. And so I had Samborghini. He's a Seattle-based artist. Well, not based, Seattle-born artist. He's in LA now. He's dope creator, dope digital artist. Like, he did my logo, and I was like, this is dope. Like, I could definitely put this on. I could see this on the back of a hoodie and stuff like that. But with Support Your Homegirls, I wanted it to be more than just clothes. I wanted to like donate to women's shelters. I actually wanted to like set up things like like not even benefits, but like something at schools for women, like young Black girls and POC girls, to have free resources to photography or to painting or to anything they want to do creatively, because we all know the arts in school, they like to cut their budgets like crazy. So it's like, to have something like that would be dope. So like, that's like the feel that I had behind like Support Your Homegirls, because I was like, it's not just like a dope saying, it's something I want to do dope in the community, and not just Seattle, St. Louis, New York, whatever, and like travel with it. So I have big dreams for Support Your Homegirls. However, the process has been a little bit, shortening because of, the pandemic. But luckily I worked with this really dope Seattle designer. Her name's Dan. We kind of were like we were just like, I have nothing to do. Like, it's the pandemic, and it's kind of like, like nothing, you know what I'm saying? And not even just nothing, because she's like popping, like, you know what I'm saying, like always, so pandemic or not. So we were just like, man, we should do like a Support Your Homegirls like collab, you know what I'm saying, and just like do a few pieces. So like, just do a few things that correlate with what we're trying to stand for, or what both of our brands stand for. And then also with that, we could donate the 50% of the funds to the Breonna Taylor Fund, because at that point, that's what that was going on, and we were like, we really want to like kind of be impactful in this, and while people, wear this clothes that we curate. So we came up with that, and we came up with shorts and a t-shirt, because, Dan is amazing. She's a good seamstress, amazing seamstress. So she made the shorts, and then I dyed all of the sets. So like, nice. So like, I love dyeing, my little tie-dye, all that stuff like that. So that was just something like a good challenge for me, dyeing those things separately. So behind that whole process was so organic, because it was like our hands are making it, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's sewing it and then I'm dyeing it. It's like actually like us being into the brand, instead of ordering from whatever manufacturer or whatever, and then like waiting 1,000 years for it or whatever. So, it was cool in that process. We did have a shortage on t-shirts, and we had to kind of make do with what we had around us. And so that process also was very a learning process as well, because it's like, okay, like you got to work with what you have basically, and like working within your budget and doing that. And that was like my first look at even like having a brand and things like that. So it was a very good learning experience. So Support Your Homegirls, I really loved that process, and so then I'm keeping going with it. We donated because the Breonna Taylor Fund was like over like $4 million, I think, like that. We were like, okay, we're gonna shift it to like therapy for Black girls, and that's the Loveland Foundation. So we donated 50% of it to the 50% of our earnings to the Loveland Foundation, and then the rest, we paid ourselves for labor and stuff like that. But that, I loved that process, and so now I'm working on some things for the fall, and I will be I'm trying to just reach out to different women's shelters and things like that to see what I could do to support and stuff like that. So yeah, be on the lookout for fall 2021. This is just a one-person machine, so I have to always have to take it day by day, because another thing, I'm a photographer, I'm a creative director too, so I have those type of jobs I have to do. So juggling that with Support Your Homegirls, it's I have to take my time with it, and I think y'all will be very pleased about the stuff that I'm doing with Support Your Homegirls. I got my samples I think 3 weeks ago, and I've been wearing them ever since. I've been wearing it. People are like, yo, is that the new? I'm like, yeah. But it's a process, because also I go through a lot of samples too, because it's you can't just put everything out, you know what I'm saying? So I have samples that I have never seen the light of day, I put on to go to the grocery store, and that's it or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's samples that I'm probably gonna release because I like it, so it's just being a one-man machine, you know what I'm saying? With Support Your Homegirls, it's it's a process. It's very much so a learning process. I say that a lot. I know I said it a lot, but it's I want y'all to know doing creating a brand is more than just creating it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of schematics behind it that you just got to figure out.
Yeah, There's a lot of ugly moments that people don't understand.
A lot of it. But then that's the beauty of it too.
Yes.
Because when you get to your destination, it's like, what next? Like,
yeah,
dang,
exactly.
like, I want a new journey. Because it's like, of course, the ugly moments, and those moments going to be ugly to you. And it's going to be like, oh my God, like, ugh, like I hate this right now. I'm going to quit. And then when you see your progress, like you get to your destination, you get there, it's like, dang, I kind of want to do something else now. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, you know, when people ask me about Support Your Homegirls, they're like, have you stopped doing it? It's like, no, I just, you know, one, I did take a break from, you know, creativity and as a whole and just try to focus on myself and things like that and my mental health. But also, it's like, no, man, we up and running. We just, you know, it's a learning process. It takes time. And also, I'm a perfectionist. So, you know, it's like, you know, it's got to be perfect. Yeah. So I'm excited for what's next with Support Your Homegirls. I hope you guys are excited too.
We are. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so very excited. I'm gonna take this one silent moment to start this
absolutely.
away.
Moment of silence for the blunt.
All right, you already know what's going on. We got Tranquil Force up in the building, episode 41. If you haven't tapped in with Tranquil Force yet, you're fucking dumb. Like, come on now.
I love your commercial voice.
Come on now. We're also
totally
smoking on that
person.
Lemonado. If you haven't purchased the Lemonado before, you're sad because they're sold out. So wait for the next batch. Always major love to Tranquil Force and the team. We love you, Benito. And yeah. I
love y'all's apple fritter and gelato 33 is so fire. A Tranquil Force is fire, and this ain't even paid nothing. Like I buy Tranquil Force like frequently, so like yeah, y'all is the shit. Okay.
For real.
Come on. Genuine love.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, are there any other creatives, either locally or just outside of the city, that you are excited to work with in the future or have like something going on to like present to us in the future?
Oh, man. So I really want to work with Allie Green. She's like a fire. Like her shit is
amazing.
Fire. She's worked with like she just did something with Justine Skye, which was fire, like insane. I love her work. I also love Volandis. He's from I think Detroit or Pittsburgh. It's one of them. I'm sorry if I butcher your hometown, but yes, I would love to work with him. Let's see. Seattle-based Sotril, Christina Martinez. I would love to like just like work with her on like a photography, like just snapping her in the studio and stuff like that. I just love organic moments like that. Yeah. I've worked with one of my favorite one of my favorite artists I've worked with so far at Seattle is Tori Kirahana. I really I loved working with her. She's just so like organic. We're just goofing off together and stuff like that. I really love that connection. So like she's one of my favorite people I've worked with so far, and I really did want to work with her. I was just like, oh, like you get that. I'm not gonna ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I ain't gonna do it. But like, as soon as she like we hit each other up and stuff like that, we was like, oh hell yeah, like this is great. So like, she's like one of my favorite that I've worked with. I'm trying to think. I like always draw blanks with these type of questions. Yeah. I'm like, one, I smoke too much weed, and two, it's like I see it in the moment. Amber Asali also is like a person that I'm like, yes, like she's amazing. I would love to even like just load her film in the camera, like you know what I'm saying? Like yes, let me load your film. Renelle Madrano. I will load your film. Girl, I don't have to do nothing. I just stand there. You know what I'm saying? I love Renelle Madrano. She is amazing with like her Louis Vuitton campaigns, her Dior campaigns, the things she did with I'm trying to blank with A$AP Ferg, her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like just everything that she does. Like she did something for Office Magazine. She shot Solange for Office Magazine. I have that issue like in my house. Photo. Yes, it is amazing.
Wow.
And a black woman.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to work. Like black women, period, is something I would love to work with all around. I love working with black women. So like any black woman, creative, photographer, whatever, stylist, like I just always am blessed to work with, honestly. Like, there's like specific people, but also people like Black women is one of the things I'm like, yes, like when a Black woman's like, hey, like, you know, you want to do this, like, here, collaborate on this project, I'm like, yes, like, absolutely, because I just, the connections me and Black women have, like I said, and I'm a Black woman as well, like, just having that connection on set with, you know, somebody like-minded, somebody that looks like you is, like, transcendent, and I just love working with people that look like me and shooting people that look like me as well. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm just blessed to work with anybody, honestly. It's like, that's another thing. Like, I'm grateful and blessed to just be working with anybody at this point in my life, because I've kind of just learned to humble myself, you know what I'm saying, and just be like, you know, every opportunity is a blessing, you know, so.
What's up?
It's just, you're such full of gems.
Thank you.
I love that. I also love that in your photography, how you highlight Black women.
Absolutely. That is lemony. It tastes like a lemonade.
Lemonado.
I love that.
Do you, as someone I look to, do you see yourself as kind of an inspirational figure in your own right? Just because I look at some of your photos as inspo and how to get inspired and not try to organically take, like, because you don't edit your film. Like, I've done a little bit of my research, so I like just to be such enamored in just how you shoot it, 90% if not 100% being film, and just the colors that you're allowed to get. Do you feel like you've arrived as like a photographer OG or someone that could, like, I guess, is influential?
50% no and 50% yes. I think later last year is when I kind of had that moment, like, oh dang, when people were seeing my work in galleries and being like, I've seen you on Instagram since this year, da 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 da, like, and like people, even like people reaching out to me on DMs and being like, you inspired me to get into film, and I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? So like I now have that kind of scope of like, okay, maybe, you know, I am like an inspirational person, you know what I'm saying? But I just, at the same time, that's the humility coming in, because I know that the people I look up to, they're, you know, like Renelle, like me looking up to her, she probably think this is a regular thing, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I want to treat it. Like, okay, this is a regular thing. And it's like, give love to receive love. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I try to live in an abundance mindset. So like, just giving advice and giving people like tools, and like, if people ask me like, yo, what's the best place to get your film developed? I'm like, Shot on Film and Panda Lab. Love y'all. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just, Panda Lab's dope. They're like in downtown area, like by the Space Needle type area, and they're dope. Like I really I love getting my film process there. I barely do, but when I do, I'm like always really pleased. But just giving people resources and being like, oh, speaking of resources, I got you a roll of film. Oh. This is Ectar 100, so make sure you shoot it in daylight, like broad daylight, like beautiful, like a beautiful day in Seattle. Like, make sure you,
All of you who come sit in this chair can learn from Lex. All of you.
Every one of you.
Not each and every one of you. I'm going to go a hard, like 85%. You know who you are if you come with gifts. I really love and appreciate this. This is amazing. Thank
absolutely,
you.
100%, because it's like it's like living in the abundance mind. It's meaning like giving your resources and giving what you know to other people, and whatever they do with it, whether it's good or bad, it's none of your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's on them. You know what I'm saying? So like, I try my best when people be like, yo, like, okay, so I'm struggling with this. Like, what's your advice? If I have the advice, I will give. If I don't, I will humbly say, I don't know. Like, people be asking me about edits all the time, and I'll be like, sir, I don't know. Like,
I light it right. I shoot
on
film.
That's it, and that's the thing. Like, with editing, it's like with film, you can only edit so much. And I've seen people edit film like beautifully on Photoshop, but I'm just like, man, maybe it's me not wanting to step into it, but it's like I don't even want to fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's meant to be how it's meant to be. Now, if it's somebody's skin not looking right or something like that, like a little green or a little yellow, like I'll go in and correct that. But like, I just, after anything other than that, I just don't do. But like, Yeah, I don't see myself as an inspirational figure. I just want to be seen as somebody who just, gives resources and like tries to help people out and things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I can see like now the people do like get inspired by me, and it's like it's very humbling, and it's very like, dang, like okay, like kind of making a little bit of an influence. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever, and this is not like low self-esteem or nothing. I just don't ever feel like I'm doing anything like big, like a big influence. Oh, thank you. I just think I'm like, okay, my purpose is to make my art, and like if I get a Vogue spread, if I get an Office magazine spread,
Naomi Campbell,
if some, that's it. But like that's my dreams have developed into that. You know what I'm saying? Because when I started photography, it was not something that I thought about. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna be this. Like I really just went with it. You know what I'm saying? So like I think the influence for that is there, like being organic and just being humble in your art.
Yeah. Well, fuck. Holy. This has been so amazing.
Wow.
I have like.
I'm over here shook. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I'm gonna be really honest with you right now. This was phenomenal.
Yes.
I think you coming here and just being able to express yourself and sit down with us. Mm-hmm. That was a blessing. Thank you for coming through.
Oh, absolutely.
And really dropping gems.
Absolutely. Speak from the heart always.
Before I take us out,
yes.
I just wanted to ask if you want to leave any novice photographers at home with a little bit of sauce before you head out.
Absolutely. Be yourself. Do everything with intention and authenticity. And I will say customer service is like a thing, you know what I'm saying? Especially with photography. Even when you deal with difficult, like, I won't say difficult people, but people who have difficult obstacles or going through something and like they, take it out on you or project onto you, or even if people are upset with the photos that you've taken, I've had that before, and you just go about things with grace, and try to just go about things with grace. But, as a beginner photographer, do what you love, like what you love to do. If you want to draw cactus plants, draw cactus plants, because you never know, you might get commissioned by Drake or the state of Arizona or something like that. Like people that, you know what I'm saying? It just, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like anything you do with your art, and especially with photography, make sure you're doing it with love and something you love to shoot. Me, I love to shoot subjects. I love to shoot portraits of Black women. I love to put light on Black women, because that literally, it's important. Like it's really important. You know what I'm saying? Because the world don't really view us in the best light sometimes, and I always try to do that. So like, but if you want to shoot, trapography, he shoots a lot of skateboarding. If you want to do, you could tell he loves it. You could tell he loves that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just do what you love and shoot what you love. You want to shoot nature, and that'd be it. You know what I'm saying? There's, and don't even think about the opportunity. Don't even think about like, going big or nothing else like that. Just be in your element and just be in the moment, and just don't think about nothing. Just think about the way you love doing this, and the joy in that. So, yeah.
This was fucking amazing.
Oh my gosh.
This is.
If y'all have any other questions, go ahead.
Oh, this is
good.
We do after.
Yeah.
You've been grooving with the South. This is KWJT. We're over here with Lex, Corey, and Solana.